each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Whack, 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 whack. Oh, it's doing the on camera. Hey, but now you can see, I'm just going to switch it here. All right. That's supposed to be that one. There we go. And ta-da, here I am. I'll get this down. The lighting's a little bit off too. All right. We'll work on that. There we go. That should help a little bit. It was doing it. Had it for a second. No. Let's just switch that. Whack, 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 whack. Let's take it off auto and go to standard definition. There we go. That helped a little bit. Actually, it didn't help at all. A little trick. Okay. Oh. What if we move the camera a little bit closer? We'll get it there. Thanks for letting me test this. I had to change some things. This is the best way to test stuff. There we go. All right. Welcome. Just got back from a band practice with a friend. And yeah, fun. It's weird because then whenever I go and listen to other people play, I kind of pull out my drum set again and play. But God, it sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of work. So I'm glad you're here. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're having fun. Things start to get colder. Maybe so you like that. Maybe some of you like to prefer the cold. All right. Who knows? Talk about being an odd duck. I don't know about anybody else, but I was kind of an odd duck growing up. Put on the other light. That helped. Let's see what happens if we turn that. Whoa! Lighting's kind of important. You have to have light in front of you too, or this is what happens. Actually, that's not too bad. Maybe a little sun in there. All right, so I don't really have a reading or anything. When I go live at 4, it's not usually too long. I also have to set up for a meeting. I don't really have to do anything. Just, at 4:30, I'll go to the group chat and say, hey, we have a meeting in half an hour. And need to face this way. Because all the people that go to that meeting have ADHD. Most people that go to Zoom meetings have ADHD. So it's all right. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that old dash of ADHD. A little bit of weirdness. I like weird. I like odd. I like people. Now that doesn't mean I always like, but I can appreciate the fact that, if you look a little different and that's how you would, but only if you're being you. If you're doing that and you're being fake about it, I'm going to have a hard time with that. This lighting thing is just bothering the fuck out of me. Clearly. All right. There we go. That's what we've been looking for. I just put it back where it was. It's been too much light on the wrong side of my face. The rest. All right. Hi, Heather. Good to see you. Oh, man. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do this, right? So for years, I tried to blend in. I tried to be one of the people. And it never really worked out for me. and this has to do more than with just my alcoholism. It's kind of who I, and even today, I'm a little odd when, if I go somewhere and I'm nervous, like the doctor's office, I crack one joke after another. And I'm pretty funny when I want to be, right? They're taking pictures of my toe and my foot and stuff. And I told the doctor, and they were like cleaning it up and stuff. And I'm like, can I get those pictures for my OnlyFan page? And the doctor said, only if I get a cut. And she jumped right in on that. It was pretty funny. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. We got the spooky font. Ooh, spooky. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Now, fake is the one thing I cannot stand. When somebody is being fake with me, it drives me crazy. Right? Now, why is that? Is because I used to do it. When people do that, kind of a little bit of it reminds me of me and what I was saying. Seeing that picture looks a lot better, so I think it's my monitor. And I don't even have a monitor. I'm just using a very small television. So I bet if I adjust the settings, it'll probably be a little bit better. Um, so I'm just kind of using a television set. But I'm proud of myself. I'm running two computers here. Everything's working. It was hard to do, but sometimes we need to challenge ourselves a little bit, get out there. So just a reminder that if you are not challenging yourself, remember there's nothing wrong with serenity, but but comfort in our recovery is not where we want to be sitting, right? So for years, most of us tried to blend in. We tried to act normal. We pleased everybody. We'd hide the parts that made us different. But in sobriety, we find that our quirks, our weird humor, our scars, that's what makes us real. And what a great thing for people in recovery who have not been able to, because see, it's twofold. It isn't, we're trying to act normal, but it's the stigma of everybody around us telling us what we should be, how we should be acting, what we should be doing. And I'm sorry, but I don't follow those rules. I don't. I don't jump on bandwagons. I don't, I don't follow the norm. Now, that's not too hard for me to do because I was born bodily and mentally different from a lot of my fellows. And even in AA, I'm still even a little bit more odd. I tend to be the one that, and I'll just tell you what it is. I like being the center of attention. I like it. That's why I do the Daily Trudge. It's why I do my podcast. It's why I go on Take 12 radio. Okay. And I'm an animated guy. So that means if I find something funny, you're gonna see it on my face. If you piss me off, you're gonna see it on my face. I can't hide it. I try to because sometimes I have reactions and it didn't qualify my dirty look. It just didn't, but I'm reactive, so it happens right away. Um, even when if I go to Walmart to pick some things up, I'll put it in a headphone and I'm singing. And I don't really sing out loud, but yeah, I'm singing. I just disappear into my own little world. I'm okay with that. I'm watching everybody because part of who I am. So it can be hard to find your place when it's like this, right? So yeah, I'm an odd duck, and I'm proud of it because the moment I stopped pretending to be someone else, I finally found some peace. So I'm gonna be honest, I've never blended in. And and you know what? I'm done trying to fit in. I found a place. I found a place I belong, right? And it wasn't just necessarily AA. I went and started my own group with my intentions and it attracted people. I did it according to the book, is what I did. And it worked for me. Now I have a whole host of friends that I see every day at 5 o'clock. And it's nice. People are appreciative that, Because at one point it was just 2 days a week, and people started asking, can we meet more often? Because I want to make this my home group and start becoming a home group and things like that, right? So why was I trying? Why was I trying? Because let's see. Well, fear, fear of rejection, more rejection, fear of abandonment. I was rejected a lot as a kid. Okay. And it wasn't just, what is this? Right? Oh, it's the side of that. Okay. It wasn't just people I was looking to be friends with. I never went through this stage of hating girls. So I was always chasing the skirt and I got turned down a lot. Hey, I had my first girlfriend till I think I was what, 15? I was 15. Well, I guess that's kind of young. I don't remember. Right. So, yeah, it was people pleasing, it was self abandonment and fear of rejection. Right. So, it seemed like the harder I tried to fit in, the more invisible I become. Like the more I tried to be like everybody else, the less of me I could find. And all my life I've just wanted to be me. And I stem. I know I'm sure I'm on the spectrum somewhere over here, somewhere on the spectrum, right about here. Just making shit up. Amber, good to see you. Says it was at the sponsorship meeting today. I've been a month already, and time is flying. Time is flying. Ooh, awesome, awesome, cool. We got a we got a speaker today at Grassroots. See, that's why it's growing. Now we got speaker meeting, we got tradition meetings, we got. Man, it's just I'm very proud of us. I am. So now what I had to do was I had to find another set of group. I had to find my I had to find my odd duck friends. And I did. I did. Found found some people that were a lot more like me. I found that most of them are Virgo. I found that most of them are I seem to get along with Virgos really well for some reason. And Virgos usually don't get along, so that's kind of weird. But I've always gotten along really well with Virgos, probably because I know that they, I know that they're looking at perfection like I am. They're seeing things like me, right? So what is it? Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. I need to be authentic, and that's one of the main words that is usually used to describe me: transparency, authenticity, passion. Those are usually the things that come up, and I like hearing that because it tells me that I am being authentic. Because I hang around with a lot of people with bullshit detectors. Okay, you're gonna know if I'm full of shit. Why? Because you're like me. You think like me. So I have to be authentic here. I have to be. If not, you'd just be like, this guy's full of shit. He's full of it. Right? So it brings authenticity when odd ducks fly together. In meetings, we finally meet people who didn't want me to fit in. They just wanted me to be real. And it took me, I tell you, it took me 7 years. Right? Now that wasn't 7 years of Dion trying to figure out where he fit in. That was 7 years of finding the authentic Dion, because I had worn so many masks. I had done so many things in my life. I had been so many things that had changed this and changed that, that I didn't know who I was anymore. I'm still discovering things about Dion that I didn't know. What my limitations are, where my talents lie, who I'm helping, who I'm affecting. Yeah. A lot of this is discovery, and it can be pretty neat. It'd be pretty neat. I didn't start, when I started drumming, I was 31 years old. That's when I got my first drum set. Right? And 9 months later, I was headlining at Herman's Hideaway. I didn't know, and it was just special skill. I don't know what it was. Now when I try and play, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how I pulled it off because I'm not that great of a drummer. I mean, I'm decent. But like when we went to a band practice today, they were playing some songs. He's like, you can take over if you want. I'm like, no, you're way beyond my league. In this case, backup singing and telling you where to fill and suggestions is about the only thing I'm gonna have for you today, right? So what we need to do is we're gonna turn different into grit. What made us stand out in our drinking now helps us reach others in recovery. Right. Here's a good example. Every single person that comes into AA has we have one thing that we all have. Right? There's one other mental illness besides alcoholism that we all have. It's depression. And you may not have severe depression or acute depression, but you've been putting a depressant in you for years and years and years. You have depression. It can't be helped. Now, for a lot of us, this is going to clear up in the first 6 months. For a lot of people, a lot of these mental illnesses that looked like our alcoholism are going to clear up. Some of them, and then you'll have others that make themselves apparent, like PTSD, trauma, anxiety, things like that, right? And then that's when we seek outside help. But 6 months is kind of the mark in all of that, right? So, but yeah, I'm the kind of guy where, like when we went to the Billy Joel concert, we're walking across the street, there was just a bunch of us, and I just started mooing. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was like we were cattle being herded. I'm just walking across the street. Moo, moo. I like to make weird sounds, make people laugh, and I like to be weird because I want you to remember who I am. What did I say earlier? I said I like being the center of attention. Right? But the problem was when I was younger, I tried to be the center of attention through not good things, skipping school, right? Because bad attention was better than no attention, and I was getting no attention. Hmm. I remember it was December 4th. Like, I think I was 6 or 7, 1977. Would have been 7 years old. I'll remember the day because it's my mother's birthday. And the man that raised us, he's our dad. He said, I like calling him dad because he's not my dad. So Wendell, right? Right. Well, your mom's not getting a birthday cake, right? And ever since I can remember, I have fought for justice because even by this time, I knew what it meant to not get something that everybody else is allowed to have. And the way I saw it was somebody was picking on my mother, and there was no way I was going to stand for that. So I packed my shit and I ran away. Cold out. Right. December 1977. This is back when December had snow in it. It usually back then it usually snowed by my birthday, which is September 18th, right? And luckily a neighbor had found me and I got back home. I even got to have some hot chocolate. I remember that too. And I got home and guess what? My mother got a birthday cake. Now, I'm glad that they did that and things like that, but all it really did, because what would I do if I wasn't getting what I wanted? What would happen now? I'd run away. Everything. See? But they told me that it was okay. I would ditch school, and sometimes I just didn't even care. I wouldn't I grab the attendance sheet and mark me there, is what I do. I don't know how they never found me, right? It didn't. I guess I was pretty good at it. And I would get caught every now and again. And what they would do is they would suspend me. They're like, "Okay, you're suspended." You mean, "Oh, so I need to stay home without parental guidance for 2 days all by myself?" Oh, no. I was a kid that the punishment, I didn't care. See, my parents thought grounding me what was a punishment to me. It wasn't. I was already home. I didn't have any friends, but they didn't know enough about me to know that. Besides, they weren't there. What were they gonna do? They were at work. What were they gonna do? Okay. I usually did stay home. I didn't there wasn't anywhere for me to go except for the arcade. Right. So I did a lot of weed pulling, yard work. In fact, I drive by that house every now and again. I'm like, I planted that tree. I grew that grass. I built that fence. Right. Yeah. So even the consequences that I would get, how do you punish a kid that doesn't see the consequences as a bad thing? Right. So I guess this is mostly here just to encourage you that if you are a little bit weird, if you're a little bit odd, keep going. Keep going. Right. I if there's one thing that I love in this world, it's authentic people. People that mean what they say and say what they mean, where action follows it. That's why the program works so well for me, because that's something that I really like and it's something in me that I can really appreciate too. Let's see what else we have to say out on this, right? So, if you feel like you're an odd duck today, congratulations. You're exactly where you belong. Now get out of there and quack recovery loud enough for someone else to hear. Go out there and quack that recovery. Whack. Recover out loud if you want to. It's not required. Right? But you are allowed to be who you are. Yes, you are. Right? If somebody tells you you're too much, tell them to go find less. Right? Hi, CJ. She's Jay says, "Yep, sure am. Hello to all." Right? See, I knew my odd ducks would show up. Heather says, "Isn't it the craziest? I got an extra day of midwinter recess for skipping spring fling at school. What the hell?" Yeah, when the consequence is exactly what you wanted. Oh no. You mean I don't have to sit at school all day? I can go fuck around. We didn't have video games and stuff back then. Had to entertain myself, but gosh, that was much better than sitting in a class where everybody didn't like me and I was bored. So it isn't that I was learning, I was bored, 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 bored. And when Dion was bored, he does shit like flood buildings. I did once. Flood a bill. Oh my! Oh, you guys, we'll kind of end on that story. Oh my God. My dad was so mad. So there was this one building. This is back when Jenny, I got your number. I'm gonna make you mine. And my friend and I decided it'd be really funny, go to the payphone at the building down at the office building down the street and call every state where we might find Jenny, right? We were trying California, right? And no, it didn't work. And since that didn't work, we got kind of bored and we ended up, you know, we took the toilet paper and started putting it into the toilet and would flush the toilet and let it do, and we flooded the whole second floor. I mean, it was bad, right? And so we got caught because we were stupid and went back downstairs and tried to the Jenny thing again because we were just stupid. And we got caught. And the consequences were this: the parents could either pay for the damages, help cover the cost of the insurance and stuff like that, or I had to spend the summer working at the office building. And my parents chose the second one. The other guy, his parents just paid for it. I had more fun that summer than any summer I've ever had. They were pissed. But you know what else? I did not get in trouble the entire summer. The entire summer. In fact, at the end of the summer, they had a sock hop, and I went to because he wanted it to be a consequence, and the fact that I was loving going there. But at the same time, I probably learned how to be a better person there during that summer than if I would have been on my own. Yeah, true story. Um, Getting ready to sit down. I've decided I'm going to write a short book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write from the time that my parents decided to put me in Comitis Crisis Center until I showed up at the Phoenix concept at 17 years old. It's a pretty long story, um, but it would fit well into chapters because I was in this group home, then this group home, and then I was on the run. And so I'm going to kind of tell that story and put it into a book. Uh, if I could sit down and remember everything, my story would probably take about 3 hours to tell. It would take a long time. Long time. So I take long time. All right. I'll see some of you in 31 minutes. The rest of you, I will see you on the morrow. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Out and keep on trudging.